Hello, and welcome to my talk for this week. Recently, I looked from the walking bridge here in Fredericton across to where the Nashwauk River flows into the St. John. The Nashwauk comes in almost at a right angle to the St. John, and its waters are picked up and carried in a new direction. It occurred to me that lives can be redirected as we come across things which carry us away. Last week, Debbie and I received a text from a young woman called Mary. In the early 2000s, she was, along with her mother Esther, a refugee from Pakistan. She came to Canada from Sri Lanka, which was the country where they fled to on leaving home. More specifically, Mary came to St. John, and when we first heard about her, she was living in the former Colonial Inn on City Road. She was a teenager and had left Sri Lanka ahead of her mother. In fact, it was several years before Esther arrived. At that time, Debbie and Ruby Ranson were living in Jordan House, a home offering shelter to those who needed it. They were approached to take Mary in. She was very uncertain and lonely, but found a place of safety on Dorchester Street. Mary now lives in Brampton, Ontario, with her husband and two boys. Esther, who eventually followed her to Jordan House, lives and works in Calgary. The text we received last week asked if Mary and her family could come to stay with us for the weekend. She wanted to bring the children to meet the people she had met here and to show them some of the places that were important in her life. They stayed from Saturday until Monday, and we had a great time reconnecting. It's not all been plain sailing for Mary and Esther as they have settled into Canada. Rather like the Nashwauk River, they've been carried along by the bigger river, and there have been rapids and whirlpools along the way. I know that their testimony would be that they miss their home, but God has looked after them through all the ebbs and flows since they came here. With the re-emergence of Taliban rule in Afghanistan, we in the Western world, including Canada, are faced with people who have suddenly fallen into something like a fast-flowing river and are wondering where they will end up. The call is for us to be part of the rescue. How do we respond to that request? The Bible gives us some help. In the Old Testament, the people of God are told to accept the alien. This is worked out in practical terms in the book of Ruth, where Ruth arrives in Judea with her mother-in-law Naomi. Although Naomi is from there, Ruth comes from Moab. They're essentially refugees looking for sanctuary. They arrive at harvest time, and the Old Testament tells Jews to leave some crops in the field for the alien to glean. Ruth takes advantage of that rule and ultimately ends up married to the landowner Boaz. Ruth the refugee becomes part of the line of King David and ultimately Jesus. We can never know how God can use situations as we fall into the maelstrom and are pushed in a new direction. Once again, thank you for being here. I trust that you will have a good week. God bless.